Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be talking about a lot of the information that the Delta Force developers just gave us in their Ask Shadow Anything Dev Q&A, which I think are awesome, by the way. A lot of this information has to do with really important stuff like console release dates, controller support, PC release dates, whether or not AI will be removed in the future, the next date for the next playtest. So we have a ton of stuff to talk about. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out my Metafy group. It's kind of like my Patreon for people that watch the content a lot and would like some extra benefits offered to them. Definitely check that out in the description. Also, follow my streams. I stream every single day on Twitch and this YouTube channel. So, I suppose we will start with the date of the next playtest. The next playtest is taking place October 14th through the 21st during something called Steam Next Fest. It's a bit of a game festival, so that is a fitting place to have a game playtest. The developers also answered people's concerns about the game not being very playable in certain regions, and they did say they will be adding more servers to accommodate more people across the world. Which is always good, because in my personal experience streaming this game, I can't tell you how many people came in my chat. I'm literally mean thousands of people came in asking, how do I play the game? How do I get a key? Will I be able to play the game? This, that, and the other. So clearly there's a lot of support and a lot of interest for this game, and it's good to see them acknowledge that. Now, the next big pieces of information they gave are some things that we already knew. However, there are some new things as well. For the console version of the game, they reiterated yet again that this is their very first console game they are producing, so they're taking extra time to make sure it is ready to release. With that being said, they stated the console release date to be Q1 of 2025, which follows the Q4 2024 early access release for PC players. So it looks like the console version of the game will be releasing a few months after the PC version, but that's not the worst thing that could have happened. They could have, delayed the entire game for months on end, and then we would have been sitting here playing nothing. So it's cool to see them actively communicate what they're doing. Hey, EA and DICE, you guys could learn a thing or two from the dev Q&As that these developers do. Maybe you should just, copy them. That'd be great. Now, moving on to some very important news, they spoke about AI. AI has been a huge topic of conversation with Delta Force, and they have reiterated time and time again that the AI were present in the playtests because, in their words, there were a limited amount of players and they wanted to ensure the matchmaking was fast. And I suppose that makes some sort of sense, but I also think they didn't anticipate this amount of interest for their game. There were absolutely more than enough players to fill these servers, especially considering these are not 128 player servers, these are 64 player servers. So in this dev Q&A, they go on to comment that they are quote-unquote having a discussion about the removal of AI and whether or not they should be there. That I don't really like. I have to be honest, I don't like that wording. I don't like the fact that they're having a discussion. There doesn't need to be a discussion because it's the most straightforward decision ever. You simply 100% have to remove AI from the Havoc Warfare or Battlefield-style game mode, and that's it. There isn't anything to talk about. So as far as the AI is concerned, I didn't hear what I wanted to hear, and I think a lot of people will reiterate that in the comment section, but they did maintain that they will actively update everybody regarding their decision on this topic. So at least they're going to communicate what they're going to do, even if it is a very straightforward decision, in my opinion. Now then, on to the topic of PC controller support, or just controller support in general. They did state that they're developing controller support alongside the development of the console version of the game, and that controller support will release when the console version of the game releases. This means that during the PC early access period, which is before the console release of the game, there will be no controller support. So when the game releases for early access on PC in Q4 of 2024, you'll have to play on mouse and keyboard. But I'm just gonna be honest here, guys, and this is my personal opinion, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack for it. If you're using a controller and playing on PC for an FPS game, you're doing it wrong. Do not succumb to the temptation of controller brain rot, ladies and gentlemen. Stay strong. Play on mouse and keyboard. Now, they did also speak about some other cool things that they haven't mentioned before. They will be adding Steam achievements to Delta Force, so you achievement hunters will have something to do in this game, and there will also be a campaign mode for Delta Force as well. But the campaign will also have to wait until Q1 of 2025 to be playable. So that's no surprise to me. They're launching basically the full game everywhere in Q1 of 2025, and PC just gets early access. That's really what they're doing. Now, for you extraction shooter mode enjoyers, they did mention there will be night modes for extractions. So there will be things like night vision goggles, shadows, and darkness, and all this sort of thing. So there will definitely be some creepy raids to be had. But as with all shooter games nowadays, especially if they're free to play, and especially if they're an extraction shooter or a Battlefield type of game, people are concerned about cheating. So the developers, again, reiterate that there's a zero tolerance policy for cheating. They're actually going to be updating their already pretty strong anti-cheat to combat against DMA hardware cheats, and they're also going to be tracking vulnerabilities that might be being exploited by, say, extraction shooter players trying to spawn in loot or something like that. So it certainly sounds like to me they're taking cheating as seriously as they need to take it, especially for a free-to-play game with really, really attractive modes for people to cheat in, such as extraction shooters and Battlefield modes. You just have a bunch of people running around, ready to be killed. There's a bunch of loot ready to be taken from people. So it's going to be very tempting, but I certainly hope they can keep the cheating at bay. One cool thing that they mentioned is the fact that they're going to be implementing a kill cam feature in order to more easily identify cheaters, but also just to have a kill cam feature in the game. They stated that they're about 70% of the way into implementing this feature, and it will be available within the year. Moving on to speaking about some map news, those of you that played the playtest or watched any gameplay of the playtest will know that at least for the Battlefield mode, there were only two maps available. There was Ascension and there was Cracked, I believe it was called. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But they did mention with the new playtest, there are going to be new maps available. One particularly will be infantry focused for Havoc Warfare, so I certainly hope that that map is really good and entertaining, and I look forward to playing it. And to end this video off, for everyone asking about whether or not there will be jets added to Delta Force, actually, one of the game developers in the video pressed one of his employees about whether or not they'll be added to the game, and he said they'll work very hard to implement jets into Delta Force. So that's a very cool answer, because it shows that he personally has an interest in actually implementing jets into the game, just for himself when he plays the game, as well as everyone else. So overall, this is a really good thing to see. I like the communication of Delta Force a lot so far. I think it's very clear and concise. And only one thing really concerned me throughout this entire thing, and that is the fact that their answer on removing AI from Havoc Warfare wasn't as clear as I would like it, but I do ultimately think that they'll make the right decision, or at least I would hope. The game has been very enjoyable so far, and the developers seem to be very competent, so I don't see why they wouldn't make the correct decision regarding that topic. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you think about all this stuff, particularly the AI comments, some of the release dates, controller support, anti-cheat, all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely swing by the streams if you have never watched one. I stream every single day on my Twitch channel and this very YouTube channel, and check out the Metafy group. That'll be in the description as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.